Hello, hello, hello. We're on a kids' playground in Amsterdam. Hey guys, thanks for watching and listening. I found another person to sit on a public bench with me. This one is a bit more scary because we don't know each other that well. Yeah, we actually met. Well, we exchanged some messages through Instagram, and I loved your point of view on your work and your excitement, enthusiasm about what we do. So I thought, okay, why not invite you to sit on the public bench with me, get to know you, and answer that magic question about being in a good place or what a good place is. So for those who don't know, Good Place, the interview series is about conversations with people about what a good place is in the physicality of things like a city, what they find is important, but also a good place in the sense of life. You know, what do you value in life, and what are you after, and what do you think can still become better? We'll find out. Enough about me. Lucia, welcome. Could you introduce yourself and tell a bit more about who you are and why you're here?
Sure. So I'm Lucia. I'm originally from CapeTown, South Africa. I was born and raised there, but made the decision to move to Amsterdam about a year ago. My mom is Dutch, so I'm half Dutch, which was a big reason for me wanting to move back here. I do feel like it's kind of coming back to my roots. But I did also study here 5 years ago.
Okay.
I did my master's in spatial transport and environmental economics. I've always been really passionate about architecture and how the look and feel of a space influences people. And I didn't study architecture, but it kind of did influence my studies. And I got into urbanism about 5-6 years ago, and then decided, how can I combine my love of architecture and being in a space with my current study, which was at the time politics, philosophy and economics.
Okay.
I did spatial transport and environmental economics in Amsterdam, and I really did fall in love with the city.
Okay.
And then went back to Cape Town briefly, worked for a few years, but then thought to myself last year, this is really where I want to be and put down roots. So yeah.
Cool. Was it the roots calling, or was it more that? What was then the main reason to come to Amsterdam? Is it the life you had here or experienced during those years studying, which you missed, or something that Cape Town didn't have for you to move here?
Yeah, as someone who just moved, I'm very good at answering this question. No, but it was a combination of things. I think two of the biggest factors were that my family is here, my mom's side of the family. So being close to them was a really important thing for me. And then also the field that I was working in or wanted to grow my career in is a lot bigger here than it is in Cape Town. It was for career opportunities as well, beneficial for me to be here. But then, Amsterdam itself is really just the most incredible city, in my opinion.
Okay, that's a statement.
Yeah, it just feels so alive. And what I really love is that there's such an opportunity to just engage with the energy of the city at all times. I mean, every time I step out of the door, I kind of, you can just soak everything in. There's people always on the streets doing things. So I think that really just makes the city come alive, which is really incredible to experience. And also coming from Cape Town, or one thing which Cape Town didn't have, which Amsterdam and the Netherlands in general does have, is, firstly, very good public transport systems and the ability to just walk and cycle everywhere, which I really enjoy. And then also just the level of safety for me was a big thing. And the sense of freedom that I experience here, as opposed to being in Cape Town, where you have to take an Uber or a car everywhere, or only be in certain areas of the city and not, go out at night or things like that. That was just a very big factor for me. So being able to cycle around here at 2 a.m, whenever I want is, just something really incredible.
Yeah, it's interesting because I also had an interview with my neighbor Tyron. He's from Johannesburg, and I think Johannesburg is even sometimes a bit harsher even than Cape Town, right? About how important security is and safety to be able to walk your dog at night versus not.
Yeah.
But I think also as a female, it's yeah.
Different.
Yeah. Safe as a female here in the city then.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I mean, in Cape Town, I would never go out without either a group of friends or at least one other person. I mean, in certain areas, you can kind of walk around a bit, it's fine. There are some really nice areas of Cape Town, don't get me wrong, but just in general, walking around, you do always have to be a bit vigilant. And I mean, I do feel a lot safer here, which is incredible, but I still have a lot of that mentality of kind of like, okay, are there other people on the street with me? How dark is it? What is happening around me? It gives you a lot of spatial awareness, which it's just interesting chatting to people who haven't grown up in that environment and just seeing that they don't think about those kind of things. So, and I think, especially as a female, we're always slightly more vulnerable. So it is additional things that you just need to consider.
Yeah, which is also interesting because it's all about perspectives. I know people even here in Amsterdam that decide not to cycle through the Wandelpark at night because of just feeling not safe. Yeah. But that's in comparison to a city like Cape Town is completely different. Yeah. But I think it's good that you're conscious. I don't know, like conscious about these things whenever you go out, for sure. Okay, you've been here a year, and prior to that, 5 years. What has been the biggest adjustments, though, when living here?
I think the biggest adjustment is definitely not being around the friends and people and family that you grew up with, and I wouldn't say losing a lot of those ties because you always have them, but in Cape Town, I was very much in my comfort zone. I knew everything that was happening. You have those like automatic social networks, and moving to a new city, I mean, I do have friends here, but it's just completely different. Yeah, in terms of having to just essentially build those networks again and build up a bit of a community. So that has been the biggest adjustment, I would say. And Amsterdam is incredible in the sense that there's a lot of opportunities to engage with people, and also a big, for example, expat community. So a lot of people who are in similar situations, and the Dutch in general are just very open and warm and friendly. So that's incredible. But I think also because it is such an expat city, there's a lot of people who will then leave after a few years. Yeah. So yeah, that would be the biggest adjustment. And the winter.
Yeah, could imagine. The biggest adjustment is weather.
Cycling in the rain.
Cycling in the rain. Yeah, but you get used to it. Yeah. Just give it a bit more time.
Not made of sugar.
Well, that's already the biggest realization. That before you step onto your bike, like, okay, I'm not made of sugar. Okay, good.
My mantra.
But going back to the making the connections part. It's, by the way, this construction sound is very nice, huh? Yeah, but okay, thank you. How do you find these kind of groups or new people? Is it through work? Is it through websites? And the second question is, do you have you made a lot of Dutch friends as well?
So I would say through work is one, although I work all the way in Zoetermeer, actually close to The Hague, and through the gym as well, so exercise, sports groups, that's always a useful way to meet people. And I would say I've been quite fortunate with my roommate, who is also an expat, although he's been living here for 8 years now, but he's always like, come, join, meet my friends, do this, do that, so that's been a great way to meet people. And then I've also been quite fortunate in that one or two of my friends from Cape Town also actually ended up moving here. Yeah, so it is nice to have a bit of home still.
After you've moved?
Actually, at the same time as me
really?
last year. Yeah, very coincidentally, we all just ended up in Amsterdam. Yeah. Yeah, and they were actually, I do have a few Dutch friends, which is, I'm very happy about that because I mean, Amsterdam is for me now home and where I want to be for the rest of my life. So I think it's really important to also, engage with people from the place, the locals.
Do you speak Dutch as well?
Yeah, I do speak Dutch.
Yeah? Okay, nice.
Which is definitely a help. But yeah, I have actually two Dutch friends that lived in Cape Town or were up and down between Amsterdam and Cape Town. So it's really great to have them here and be able to, learn a bit about the city through them as well.
Yeah.
And then, I think just over time, you do make a few more connections and, you go to different things, events or functions or group things. There's also a really interesting, what's it called? I think like organization, but they're in Rotterdam.
Okay.
The New Institute, but it's
New
also to do
Institutes?
with architecture, and they have a few talks every now and then. So that's also been a really nice way to meet people.
Within the topic of
within urbanism,
So it's really interesting to see that we all need other people to make us feel at home, and that sort. So you've been lucky that you've had friends, even Dutch friends, that lived in Cape Town, that it can even make you feel at home initially. What else would you think makes a good place for you? Like what are things that you value? And I mean this in the physicality way of things, and then later we move on to other things. But what are things in a city that you find most important, that makes it a good place for you?
I think for me, definitely being able, the level of accessibility of a city, I would say. So what I do love about Amsterdam is that it is based on that 15-minute city model. So I mean, within 5 minutes of where I'm living, I can go to the shops, I can do all of my things that I need to do. It's also very accessible in terms of transport and getting around, which is incredible.
Where do you live in Amsterdam?
In Jordan, so just down the road, which is also one of the prettiest areas of Amsterdam, so I'm very lucky.
You are very lucky.
But actually that I would say also makes a good place is just the level of aesthetics. I'm a very visual person and also just passionate about architecture, but I mean all the houses here look the same, they're so cute, and it is just incredibly beautiful with the water and the canals, and you picked one of the most beautiful areas of Amsterdam. Great move. So that's the first thing. I think the second thing for me is just how vibrant a place is, and I think this is one thing that I was quite sensitive towards in Cape Town, is just the kind of, a lot of places just feel a bit dead because of either it's not that safe or it's just not very well planned. It doesn't get a lot of foot traffic, where I feel in Amsterdam most places there's always people walking around, there's always something happening, which just it just gives the city a really sense of aliveness, which I enjoy. The
almost
one thing,
like you feel like part of society.
Yes, exactly. Whereas in South Africa, I think a lot of the time there's private spaces instead of public spaces. So most of the time you'll either go to a restaurant or a bar and you'll sit in there instead of on the street, where now me and my roommate, we actually got a little table and chair so that we can sit on the pavement outside our apartment and eat dinner with the rest of the street. I mean, everyone sits there when it's nice weather, which is just so not something that would ever happen in Cape Town. I really do like that.
It's beautiful.
And
then people pass by.
And they're like, oh.
And then you make spontaneous encounters. I actually once this area also I never lived in Jordan, but it did work in Jordan. So I used to work on a houseboat here in the Prinsengracht.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and then,
Amazing.
it was not legal, so every time there was a police boat, we dug in behind our laptops.
Yeah.
So that was fun. And like these side streets,
Yeah.
which is also a ground floor gallery space.
Yeah.
And I noticed that whenever you sit outside, you know, it makes there's always somebody that stops and starts to make conversation, and you have a conversation. And people even that know you and you have that space, they always like pass by and peek in, and then people keep on being nosy here.
Yeah.
And I think that's really nice about Jordan, because there's also a very split, of course, the more yuppies, and then the older generation Jordan people that still like to live here. And you see it with the windows as well, on the type of curtains.
Okay.
When they have like this little detail, mostly like knitted, you know, it's like
Someone who's been here for a while.
yeah, exactly. And then the style of I don't know. That's also what people say. Even when we talk about curtains, there are hardly any curtains.
Yeah.
So people are quite transparent.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you have curtains in your home?
We actually don't know, but I'm trying to convince my roommate to get, because we have a single pane glass. In winter, it's really, oh my goodness, it's too cold. Yeah.
So we talked about accessibility, about vibrance. Anything else?
I think the one thing which I do miss, this is the biggest thing I think I miss from Cape Town, is the nature.
You just realized.
Yeah. No, but just the nature. I mean, you have the ocean and mountains on your doorstep in Cape Town, so there's a lot of opportunities to go to the beach and be outside and hike and, you know, just be in nature. And I do miss that a bit living here. So I mean, when I work from home, you'll find me every day walking to Wester Park, which is just 10 minutes down the road, and a bit of a natuurgebied there. So I'll be there doing my daily nature walk just to get a bit of a, green and fresh air. Yeah.
So would you say Amsterdam could benefit from more green or more nature escapism? There's not really space for anything like that, right?
No, I mean, I definitely think it could benefit from that. But I mean, there are a few parks. But I have a friend who's working, for example, she was working for a company that tries and incorporates more nature into buildings. So I think that and also in Rotterdam, they have that whole rooftop garden series going on, so you can visit different rooftops. I think that's a potential opportunity to incorporate more nature into the city where there isn't, you know, space, for example, where we're sitting now to have a lot of greenery. Yeah.
Very much concrete around here, except the trees. They a lot of trees. They look nice, but still, I think that's also something that when I lived in Amsterdam, what I realized during lockdown, the opportunity, the options to escape aren't that much. No. And of course, in the Netherlands, everything is close by. I mean, you could go to Zandvoort or something like that for I don't know, 20 minutes by train. Yeah. But that, I think, has been apologies. I mean, my main reasons. I'm moving to The Hague, to be closer to the beach and to forests and dunes and these kind of things. Yeah. I'm not saying that's the holy grail, but
it is an important.
When you grow older, you turn old. Yeah, you notice that you start to value those kind of things just slightly a bit more. Yeah, it's interesting. But Amsterdam is the best place, the best city for you in your life. Yeah, good. And I mean, besides the physicality things, like being in a good place, could you share something about that? Are you in a good place in life, would you say?
I would say I am in a good place right now. I mean, it's always been my dream to live here, so achieving that now makes me very happy.
Could you grow old here?
Yes, I think so. And I do very much, I mean, ever since, but I think also because my family's here, so since I've been little, me and my mum have been coming to visit the family. So I think I do just have a very family feeling here. And, you know, I see all of my aunts and uncles getting older and things like that. So I'm like, this is definitely how I want to be living my life in the future.
You're quite a family person, then.
Yes, yeah, very much so. Yeah, so that's incredible. And I mean, I've also now working in a field which is more aligned with my interests. So that's also really good. So yeah, I would say I'm in a good place right now.
What's missing? What's missing?
No, I would say the biggest thing missing right now is the kind of connections. Although everyone's told me, and I know this for myself as well, that it does just take a bit of time to build up the same depth of connections here that I had in Cape Town. I mean, I've had those since, just growing up there, which now it's my second year here. You're not just going to automatically have that same community. So, but I'm very determined, and I know it'll come with time. So.
Yeah, but I think it's also making friends is different, of course, when you're
especially when you're an adult. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's
harder.
Yeah, and sometimes you're seeking for some different kind of friendship.
Yeah.
It's not perhaps the friends that you need for life, but you want to have fun with people.
Yes.
And have a good time. Huh?
Yeah.
Or dating.
Dating is interesting always.
It is interesting. Maybe that's a different podcast.
Yeah.
Talking about dating in Amsterdam.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Are you dating?
Yes, I am.
Good. Do we need to do a shout out?
No.
No shout out. So briefly then, how's dating in Amsterdam? Difficult?
It's been interesting. I mean, that's also, I would say, an interesting contrast, how you meet people is interesting. So, I mean, everyone is now kind of on the dating apps. Personally, I haven't had great experiences on there. So I'm always more of, you meet someone, you either have a good connection with them or you don't.
Like somewhere in a bar or spontaneous?
Or via friends. I feel like that's always the best route. So, yeah, I mean, I've had a few bad experiences, but then also good experiences. So, yeah, it's always interesting.
And how's dating different here than, say, in Cape Town?
I can't really compare, I would say, because when I was in Cape Town, I was in a relationship. So that was kind of like, now I'm...
Bound.
Yeah.
Good.
But it's a lot of fun here. Yeah, lots of different people to meet, lots of different things to do.
But every day of the week, there's always time for it.
Yeah. New guy every night of the week. I'm joking, I'm kidding.
Full-time job.
It can be, yeah. It takes a lot of effort.
But
fun
I'm
efforts.
also interested, like, what do you do during a date? Is it always sitting and having a drink, or is it something doing sports together, going for a boat ride, or playing golf, or I don't know? Yeah,
I mean, I feel like the easiest one is always either drinks or dinner, and that's always the safest bet when you are meeting someone new. So that's always kind of the standard go-to, I would say.
Yeah.
But then I get quite easily bored, so I'm always, I've been on walks or to go. What are those like places where you can go play arcade games? I feel like that's always fun.
Nice.
Or play pool, which is also cool.
I don't understand why people go to the cinema for a date.
Oh no, I can't. I'm not a big movie person.
Okay.
But also...
You don't talk with each other.
Yeah, it's the lowest form of engagement. So no, I'm not a movie on a date person.
It's like the people are scared for people kind of dates. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. I mean, I've been out of the dating scene for quite a while, so it's and this has not been part of our interview list of questions. But it's when we talk about connection, this is also part of it.
Yeah.
And you're the first one that I talk about this kind of topic. Because I think the rest I've talked to are not even single. No, maybe that's
I'm
why.
your first token single person.
My first. Yeah. Actually, that's not true. I've talked to someone in Berlin. I think she's still single.
Okay.
But maybe that's just an assumption. Cool. So if you ever want to, you're interested in Lucia, then here's a number. No, here's a phone number.
Here's the address.
Address? Jordan, Amsterdam. Yeah, we're not gonna be too specific about locations and privacy, GDPR, that kind of stuff. I'm thinking, do I have anything else that I could ask you? Do you have a question for me?
Ooh. Okay, what's the biggest thing you miss from Amsterdam after moving to The Hague?
Oof, that's a very good question. Well, I know for sure that Amsterdam is a lot more lively than The Hague is.
Yeah.
So whenever you go, I'd say after 8 p.m. on the streets in The Hague, it's quiet, it's empty. In the beginning, I was like, wow, where are the people? Because that's also where you feel a connection. But yeah, there was a homeless guy emptying the garbage can around us.
Lot to see here.
A lot to see here outside of what you guys see and hear. But I think it was a successful dumpster dive. He filled his bags and walked away.
On to the next one.
Yeah, and I think that's the beauty of doing these interviews on public benches, because
You see so many interesting things.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, so that's well, one thing that I miss is, let's put it that way, the liveliness or the vibrance. You get used to it. It's funny, I used to have a tram just crossing my front door, and I couldn't be bothered. But whenever you move to somewhere place where it's quiet, every noise is something very noticeable. Yeah. So you're like immediately looking out of the window, like what's happening in front of your doorstep. So that's you're more, I don't know, more aware of these kind of things. What I did notice, I used to live in Amsterdam. I used to live in Bos en Lommer, which is very diverse, Bolo, very mixed. A mix of layers of society, a mix of ethnicity. Where I live now at the moment is pretty white, pretty expat, a lot of expats. Some say it's the only neighborhood where some females are still housewives.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, yeah, that's true. Not mine, by the way. She's working her ass off. No offense there to anyone. But yeah, I do miss that. I do miss that diversity in a neighborhood.
Yeah.
I did, at times, could get annoyed by it as well, because you're not on the same page. But at the same time, it is society.
Yeah.
And it makes me feel real and yeah, like part of life. So that's something I do miss, and I would love to see return. So maybe I'm seeking for a different neighborhood that has that balance more. There are some pros and cons to those kind of things, but I don't want to, even my kid, not to be grow up in a too white or a white school environment, because
Single culture.
Yeah, should be more inclusive, should be more diverse. That's what the world needs. That brings acceptance and broaden your horizon, and it's something I want to bring my kid in up as well. It's good for now. We're close to the beach. It's amazing, but if we want to move on, then that's something that I would like to change.
Okay.
It's not a hard comparison about Amsterdam being better than The Hague. It fits my chapter of life. But yeah, there are some things that I would love to bring back.
Okay.
And I love coming back here, so that's okay.
Good thing it's only a train ride away.
Absolutely. And the more often you do it, you more get used to it.
Yeah.
So amazing. And I love coming here and meeting even new people and having these kind of conversations.
Yes.
Is there anything else you'd like to share with the listeners or viewers when it comes being in a good place?
Oh my gosh.
I'm putting you on the spot.
Good place. I think...
For people that want to make a move, or for people that
um,
want to take a next step, for people...
Oh gosh. I don't know how qualified I am to give that advice.
do it.
I'm joking.
Just do it.
Just do it. 2 feet first. No, but I think one thing that I've also kind of realized here is how important it is to engage with your neighborhood as well. So that's kind of my next mission. I mean, I have a really lovely neighbor downstairs, and now I'm like, she's been here for almost 40 years, and the people above me have also lived here their whole lives. And as someone who now wants to live here my whole life, I'm like, okay, I'm going to get to know everyone in this neighborhood and everyone on the street, because I think that is so important, just to know who you're surrounding yourself with, and just to be a bit more connected to a space as well. So I don't know if that counts as advice, but I mean, I think investing in the place that you are in is very important.
I think that's a very nice closing statement. I think this red thread through this conversation has been connection. Mm-hmm. So it starts with that as well, right? To find and seek connection. Because who knows, you don't need to be dating, maybe it's your neighbor. Who knows? We'll never know. I want to thank you for your time, for your enthusiasm again, and very cool insights. I think it definitely helpful. I want to thank you again for listening, for watching. Follow, subscribe, whatever you need to do on all these channels. And I'm looking forward to inviting a new person on a public bench wherever you are. So looking forward to hearing from you. Okay, take care, have a nice day. Bye bye guys. Ciao.